Most students believe that success during exam season comes from those intense, last-minute study marathons. But what if the truth is far quieter, far more disciplined, and far more powerful than that? Imagine waking up every single day without panic, without guilt, without that heavy feeling of falling behind, and instead stepping into your study routine with calm focus and quiet confidence, knowing that every small effort you make is building something unstoppable beneath the surface. Consistency is not loud. It does not beg for attention, and it certainly does not rely on bursts of motivation that come and go like passing weather. Instead, it is built on something deeper, something far more reliable, a system that works even when you do not feel like working, even when distractions call your name, and even when your energy feels low. The problem most students face is not a lack of intelligence or even a lack of time. It is the lack of a consistent rhythm, a daily structure that turns studying from a painful task into a natural part of life, like brushing your teeth or checking your phone. When you depend on motivation, you are setting yourself up for inconsistency because ion is emotional, and emotions are unstable. But when you build systems, you remove the need to feel ready. You simply act because it is what you do. Think about it. The top-performing students are not always the ones who study the hardest in one day. They are the ones who show up every day, even if it is for a shorter time, even if it is not perfect, even if they feel tired, because they understand that progress is not created in one moment of intensity, but in hundreds of moments of discipline. The secret is not doing more. It is doing it regularly. And that is where most people fail because they try to do everything at once, overwhelming themselves until their mind rebels and shuts down. True consistency is gentle but firm. It allows rest but demands return. It understands that burnout is not a sign of hard work, but a sign of poor strategy. When you study without a system, your mind feels like it is constantly under attack, jumping from one topic to another, trying to hold everything at once. But when you create a structured plan, your brain relaxes because it knows what to expect. It knows when to focus and when to rest. This is where your transformation begins, not in a dramatization. See overnight change, but in the quiet decision to show up today, and then tomorrow, and then the day after, building a chain of effort that becomes too strong to break. And as simple as that sounds, there is something most students never see coming, something that silently destroys their consistency right when they think they are doing everything right, and understanding that hidden obstacle might be the difference between success and regret. At first, everything seems to be working. You create a plan, you sit down to study, and for a few days you feel unstoppable, almost as if you have finally cracked the code to productivity. But then something subtle begins to shift, something almost invisible. Your energy starts to dip, your focus becomes harder to hold, and the routine that once felt empowering begins to feel heavy, like a weight you did not expect to carry. This is the moment where most students quietly fall apart, not because they are lazy or incapable, but because they unknowingly walked into the trap of unsustainable effort, pushing too hard, expecting too much, and leaving no room for recovery. The mind is powerful, but it is not limitless, and when you ignore its need for balance, it begins to resist, first with small distractions, then with procrastination, and eventually with complete burnout. You might tell yourself to push through, to study longer hours, to double your effort, believing that more intensity will fix the problem. But this only deepens the cycle, turning your study routine into something you begin to fear rather than trust. Real consistency is not built on pressure. It is built on pacing, on understanding that progress requires both action and recovery, focus and release, effort and ease. The students who truly succeed are not the ones who never feel tired. They are the ones who know how to respond when they do, who adjust without quitting, who reduce the load without breaking the habit. Instead of asking how much you can do in a day, the better question becomes how little you can do while still moving forward, because the goal is not to impress yourself for one day, but to support yourself for many days. When your system is flexible, when it allows you to have low-energy days without guilt, you remove the fear of failure, and that fear is often the hidden reason why people avoid studying in the first place. There is also another layer to this challenge, something deeper and more psychological, the quiet voice that tells you that you are falling behind, that you are not doing enough, that others are doing more, and this comparison slowly eats away at your confidence, making your efforts feel meaningless. But what you do not see is that consistency compounds in silence. It does not show immediate results. It does not give instant rewards. And because of that, many people, abandon it too early, right before it begins to work. This is where the real test begins, not in how much you study, but in whether you can trust the process when nothing seems to be changing, when results are invisible, and when doubt becomes louder than discipline. And just when you think you have reached your limit, there is a breakthrough waiting, but only for those who choose to continue. And then, almost unexpectedly, something begins to change, not in a dramatic or explosive way, but in a calm and steady rhythm that you can feel within yourself. Your mind starts to settle, your focus becomes sharper, and the resistance that once felt so overwhelming slowly fades into the background. This is the quiet reward of consistency, the moment when your efforts begin to align with your identity, when studying is no longer something you force yourself to do, but something that naturally fits into your daily life. You no longer rely on motivation because you have trained yourself to act regardless of how you feel, and that is where true freedom is found, not in escaping effort, but in mastering it. Each day you show up, even in small ways, you are reinforcing a powerful message to your mind that you are reliable, that you can be trusted to follow through, and this self-trust becomes the foundation of everything you achieve. It is not about perfection, it is about persistence, about continuing, even when the progress feels slow, even when the results are not immediately visible, because deep down you understand that every session is building something greater than what you can see. You begin to notice that your stress levels decrease, not because exams are easier, but because you are more prepared, more grounded, and more in control of your time and energy. The fear of last-minute cramming disappears because you no longer depend on panic to push you forward. You have replaced chaos with clarity, and that clarity gives you confidence. You also start to experience a new kind of discipline, one that is not harsh or punishing, but supportive and steady, guiding you back on track whenever you drift without making you feel like you have failed. This is the difference between forcing yourself and leading yourself, between fighting your mind and working with it. And as your consistency strengthens, something even more powerful happens. Your belief in yourself grows, not based on empty motivation, but on real evidence, on the fact that you have shown up again and again, proving to yourself that you are capable of staying committed. This belief carries you through the final stretch of your exam preparation, allowing you to face challenges with calm determination rather than anxiety. You realize that success was never about doing everything at once, but about doing the right things repeatedly, building momentum that becomes impossible to stop. And now, as you stand at the edge of your goals, you understand that consistency was never the hard part. It was simply the most overlooked part, the quiet force that turns effort into achievement. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.